we're going to go through some examples of things that you could possibly see on your assessment. The first thing I want to point out is make sure you're reading the directions, not specifically the problem, but the directions very, very carefully, because those are going to tell you exactly what I'm looking for. So some of the directions will say, solve using a model or equation, show your work, and write your answer as a statement. So if it says solve using a model or equation, I'm looking for you to solve using a model or an equation. Okay? These questions, you don't necessarily need to do a tape diagram. You can use any model that will help you, or an equation. So if you just want to write out your equation and show your work that way, that's fine. Now, if it's different and it says use the RDW process, remember the R stands for read, the D stands for draw, and the W stands for write. So in that case, you do need to draw a model, okay? It can be a tape diagram, or it can be another picture that would help you solve the problem. Now, if it's a problem about an ice cream truck serving ice cream, drawing a picture of the ice cream truck is not going to help you solve the problem, okay? So be careful with what you're drawing. For the writing part, same as this. It says write your answer as a statement. That's what I want you to do when you have the W part of the RDW process. I just want your answer as a statement using a complete sentence. Okay, so we're going to go through this example. We're going to go through this example. And I am going to go through all of the strategies for multiplication using just this example. So these directions say use any place value strategy. Use any place value strategy. So that means you can use any of the multiplication strategies that I taught you. You can use the area model, partial products, or the standard algorithm. You could also use a place value chart if you wanted. Now, repeated addition is not a place value strategy because you're not breaking up the number and looking at each individual place value. Skip counting is not a place value strategy, so those two will not fly. So skip counting, no. Repeated addition, no. Okay, you can use any one of the three I'm about to go over. Okay, so the area model is very important. You need to know how to do the area model because there are two questions that will tell you specifically to do the area model. So you need to pay close attention to the area model. Okay, so for this problem, I'm going to take my larger number, 68, and break it into two pieces, so 60 and 8, okay? Very similar to the break apart method or partial products, okay? So we're going to draw our rectangle. We're going to do 60 and 8 as our length, 3 as our width, and we're going to multiply just like we're finding the area of this rectangle. So we're going to do 60 times 3. And 6, I know 6 times 3 is 18, and that means 60 times 3 is going to be 180. Okay, and then in the other box, I'm going to do 8 times 3, and I know 8 times 3 is 24. Okay, then I'm going to take these two and add them up to get my answer, which is 204. If you had a 4-digit number or a 3-digit number here, then you would have that many boxes here. So if I had a number that was like 1,684, then I would have 4 boxes here, okay? I am looking, if you're showing the area model, I'm looking for this piece and this piece, both of them. Okay, the next one I'm going to do is partial products. This is a great place value strategy you can use. For partial products, I'm going to think about it, separate it into place value, just like I did in my area model. So 3 times 8 is 24, and then I'm going to do 3 times 60, which is 180, and then I'm going to add those together. Okay. Another way you can do partial products is if you break it up like this. It's just extra writing, but I would be totally fine with it as long as you show that you are lining up your numbers and adding them together. Okay, so if you're going to do it this way, then you need to show me all 3 pieces, especially the adding part. Okay? Okay, the last strategy we're going to go over is just the standard algorithm. This is a place value strategy because we're looking individually at each place. So 3 times 8 ones is 24. 3 times 6 tens is 18 tens plus these 2 tens. So 18 tens, 19 tens, 20 tens. Okay, so there's our standard algorithm. Now, you can also do the standard algorithm with carrying over top instead of on the line. And carry your 2 up here and do 20. Either way, this would be fine as long as you are showing me that you have carried a number. Okay, if you just show me this, that is not going to count. That won't work for me. Okay, you're just writing the problem and writing the answer, and that's not showing your work, so that's not going to fly. Okay, so any of these would be okay for using place value strategy. Okay, this problem, you are definitely going to see something similar on your assessment. We have done this problem before. The one on your assessment is this one gives you, actually, let's read through it and then I'll tell you what it gives you, okay? It says, we're going to read the directions first. It says, solve the following problems. Use pictures, numbers, or words to show your work. Okay, pictures, numbers, or words. Pictures, numbers, or words. Okay, any of the 3. Now, this is an area and perimeter problem, so it really lends itself to using pictures to show your work. It says, the rectangular projection screen in the school auditorium is 5 times as long and 5 times as wide as the rectangular screen in the library. The screen in the library is 4 feet long with a perimeter of 14 feet. So I'm going to draw the library screen first because that makes the most sense. Okay, 4 feet long and the perimeter is 14 feet. What is the perimeter of the screen in the auditorium? So before we can even draw the screen from the auditorium, we have to find the width of this screen here, the library screen. So in order to find the width, we need to use an equation to help us out. So we know that this is the length, okay? And we know that the equation for perimeter is, we can write it in 3 different ways. It's the same equation. You can just write it in 3 different ways. Oh no. So we can do length plus width plus width because we know we're going to add all 4 sides. We can do 2L plus 2W, and we know from hands-on equations that we can just substitute whatever the variables are equal to in there, and it would be 2 times L and 2 times W. Okay, and then also from hands-on equations, we know that we have L plus W times 2. So that would just be 2 L's plus 2 W's. We've been working on that the past few hands-on equations meetings. So in any one of these equations, we can plug in our 4 for our L. I'm going to use this one because it's the easiest to plug in and makes the most sense. So I'm going to plug in where I know my variables. I know P is equal to 14, and I know L is equal to 4. So I'm going to do 2 times 4 plus 2W. Okay, so just like in our hands-on equations, we can think about it as our balance, right? So if we have an 8 and 2 pawns on this side, let me draw that picture just so we can see it. So if we have an 8 and 2 pawns, and then we have a 14, think about what we're going to take away first. Well, we can take 8 from both sides, right? So we can take 8 from both sides of this equation, and we know that both of these are equal to 8, and then that covers these pieces of the perimeter. So then we just need to find the side pieces, right? So we've already covered 8 feet, then that leaves us with 6 feet is equal to 2W, or 6 feet is equal to the width plus the width. Okay, so we just need to think about what of the same number can we add together to get 6. And we know 6 divided by 2, or 2 times whatever is equal to 6. That would be 3, right? 6 divided by 2 is 3. 2 times 3 is 6. 3 plus 3 is 6. So W is equal to 3. So our width is 3. Okay, we can check that by adding 4 plus 3, which is 7, plus 3 more is 10, plus 4 is 14, and that's what we're looking for in our perimeter. Okay, so now we know our length and we know our width, which I'm going to label both of them just so we have them and are not confused. Okay, I'm going to erase this, and I'm going to erase these and that to help me out so I can draw our picture of our auditorium screen. Now, on your assessment, the question will give you the area as opposed to the perimeter. So if it gives you the area and the length, then you just need to remember area is equal to length times width. If it gives you the area and the length, and the area was 20, and the length was 4, we need to think about what times 4 is going to equal 20, and that would be our width. Okay, hypothetically. Okay, so we know, let's highlight. We know the rectangular projection screen is 5 times as long and 5 times as wide as the screen in the library. So we're going to break up our picture into 5. The side, the length is going to be broken into 5, and the width is going to be broken into 5. So the width, we have 3 for each piece. There's 5 3s, so that's 5 times as long as what we have here. Then we have 5 4s, which is 5 times as long as 4. Okay, so that helps us out. We can extend these pieces to make 5 columns of 4 and 5 rows of 3. Now each of these boxes is a 4 by 3 box. So the area of this shape is the same as the area of all of the boxes here, if we were concerned about area. We're not for this problem, but you may be for your assessment. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Now we're going to find the length and the width. So the length here is 20 feet. The width here is 15 feet. Okay, and then it says, what is the perimeter? The question's asking, what is the perimeter of the screen in the auditorium? So we need to check 15, 20. This would be 15 and 20. Add those together. You end up with 15 plus 15 is 30, plus 20 is 50, plus 20 more is 70. Now, I expect you to show that work. I'm not doing it just for time's sake, but you should be able to write out that equation right here and show me how you know that the area is, or I mean the perimeter of the screen is 70 feet. Okay, and I expect to see a sentence stating the perimeter of the screen in the auditorium is 70 feet. Okay, the last thing I want to show you before I am done is this, because you still need the area model. We're still looking for the area model here. Because this type of area model is a little bit different than the other one that we were looking at. Okay, so for this one, we're going to break our pieces into tens. We know we have 3 tens here, which 10 plus 10 plus 10 is 30. We know we have 2 tens here. 10 plus 10 is 20. Okay, so each of these boxes is a 10 by 10 box, and the inside of those boxes is equal to the area of those boxes is equal to 100 square units, or just 100. If you have a 10 by 10 array, you would have 100 items in your array. So each of these boxes is 100. Okay, this is to help you remember that 30 times 20 is not 60. It is not. Because look at this. Do we have 6 tens here? We do not. We have 6 hundreds here. So 30 times 20 is 600. Okay, 3 tens times 2 tens is 6 hundreds, not 6 tens. Okay, keep that in mind. Okay, thank you for watching this video. If you made it to the end of this video, you have the opportunity to earn extra credit. In order to earn 10 extra credit points, you need to put 4th grade is fantastic in your last question. So in the box where you are submitting your work, you can put your video in that box, you can put your image in that box, but at the bottom you need to write out 4th grade is fantastic, and I will give you 10 extra credit points because I know that you watched the video. A few things before you take your assessment, just some simple reminders. Read all the directions. They tell you exactly what I'm looking for. Read every question very carefully. If you show your work, you will get partial credit, even if your answer is incorrect. Make sure you show your work on all questions. Make sure if it's a problem-solving problem, you write your answer as a statement. And finally, make sure when you upload a video or input an image into the text boxes into Canvas in the quiz, that your video or image is loaded completely so that when you submit it, I can see it, because there have been a lot of submissions of work where I couldn't see the video or couldn't see the image, and in that case, on this assessment, you're going to get the question wrong, because this is my reminder to you. Okay, if you uploaded it and then submitted it and it still didn't come up when you were looking at your work, you can always send it to me in my inbox in Canvas. Okay, I would recommend you, while I prefer it on a whiteboard, I know you erase your whiteboard, so if you want to write it on a piece of paper, so if you need to go back and revisit it, or if I message you and I'm like, I'm missing number 5, can you please send it to me again? That would probably be helpful, so just keep that in mind. Okay, good luck. Read all the questions, answer them completely. I will see you guys on Monday. Have an amazing